Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. What you gonna do? I don't know, but something's gonna grow. Well, you guys, hello and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. Well, I'm on because guess what, y'all? My cold crops. I uncovered them on yesterday, and you probably have seen that film. I did a video on yesterday that was meant to be put out today, but because that development happened, I said, well, I better come on today for a few minutes just to explain all that beauty that you saw yesterday with the broccoli. I discovered like 3 more broccoli heads, and then the cabbage was starting to tighten up and all that stuff. So I said, well, they need a little more room. So what I decided to do was unclip the tool, although I left them covered. Well, a squirrel or whatever beast must have been watching me as I did it, because I came out here a few minutes ago and you will see the devastation. Everything is destroyed. But I took the leaves off and I'm gonna cut around them wherever the squirrel hasn't bitten. I'm getting my cabbage leaves, but he only got one of each. He got what he got he didn't get the main broccoli, the one with the heads, and he did not get the good. Well, he got one of the good cabbages, the better one, but the other one is good and untouched. So I'm gonna have to clip everything back because he is going to return. He also got one of the kohlrabi. So he had a feast this morning. So I'll show you that after I show you my tomatoes. We're not gonna do the full garden tour. Y'all already know the spiel. So let's see. Because yesterday I did do a garden tour, but the camera was not on, but I'm gonna make sure this time. I'm gonna make sure. Let's see. Okay, right here where you see my hand, that's one cluster of tomatoes. Right there. Okay, I'm looking in the camera myself to make sure. On this one, I have a cluster coming. If you look at my hand, right where my finger, right here, you see the tomatoes? I can see them. Okay, and on the third one, let's see, now this one I can't see. But if you see my hand there, see my hand? I hope you do. That's another cluster. Let me lean the phone to the side so I can see. Okay, I see the cluster right here. Okay, I'm just making sure. And then my pepper bloom died, but the pepper is on the way. And I've got some peppers over here coming. I don't know if you can see these right in there. I've got peppers coming. So I am very, very pleased. Now let me sit down and rest for a minute before we go out there. And this is for Booger, y'all. He ate up everything in his trap, and I'll show it to you. I'm bringing the trap in here. I'm gonna take that sledgehammer that I have, and I think I'm gonna need to straighten out the trap plate somehow or another, because I had the apple and other things right at the back of that trap. He has gone in there and he has eaten everything in there. The trap is totally empty of food. He has to hit that trap in order to get to the back of the trap. So he's somehow or another, he's not setting it off. So I think it may need to be adjusted. I don't know if I need to raise it up a little bit, but I have my stick over here, and so I'm gonna play around with it and set the trap off to see exactly what needs to be done to make it easy to set off. And then I have some fruit, and I have a tomato here that he will be getting this evening when I set it back. And then I'm also going to take some grass. Well, he's comfortable with that trap, so I may not need the grass, but I need more hay to cover it. I want to cover that whole trap. And then I want to put grass at the entrance of the trap so that he won't see, that it's a cage and whatnot. Just right at the entrance where he first go in, he'll think he's still on the grass, and then kaboom. So I think I'll have him overnight, or it'll be soon. I'll have him. It's just a matter of me now. Somebody's screaming over there. There's always something over here. We got a new crew on the next street. and they're just loud, the music and you name it. I'm sick of that. But it won't last long. It won't last long. You still have a few people who think that fat meat isn't greasy, and they think that rent is cheap and they can just go. People are being, wait a minute, tenants are being good now because it's hard times. Don't nobody want to get evicted. We got so many homeless people around here holding up signs and whatnot. Hey, can't help you now. You know, so basically, it's like you gotta straighten it up. If you're doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, you better straighten it up. This is not the time, especially with people with kids, to be getting evicted. You know, that is if you can pay your rent. I know you can do what you want in your home and whatnot, but you know, some things you have to be careful of. I don't know why I got off on that spiel, but it's just certain things that I see. And, you know, and with evictions and stuff, you know, there was a time where things had really gotten kind of wild because at times wasn't hard. But I don't know who needs to hear this out there. That's why I'm saying it. I know it's not none of y'all, but we're homesteaders. But somebody might stumble across this channel. So if you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, get it together. Get quiet. Keep yourself invisible so that you won't. So that you'll stay under the radar and grow you some food. Okay, now let's go on out here so I can show y'all what devastation happened. Okay, y'all. Boy, my legs. Okay, first of all, this is Booger's spot. As you can see, everything's empty. I mean, he set this up himself. He moved the doggone, that's how big this thing is. He moved the doggone brick and made him a little tunnel way. And see how he has tunneled all the way into the trap. And see, the pen is fine. I think maybe the trap isn't setting because of that hay there. So maybe I'll take that heavy hay off and put the grass there, or I'll just leave that up because he's going in there. He's probably not even looking up top to begin with. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that's what's keeping it from setting. So I'll remove the grass because he's stepping on that because the apples were way back here. I had it right at the door. So he has to step over that trap plate to get to it. And when he steps on it, his weight should be what will trigger it. So I'm gonna just keep trying. It's something that's keeping that thing, but I'm gonna test it with my stick. Okay, now, here's the devastation, y'all. Like I said, I kept the tool over the plants, but I took the clips off on both sides. The animal entered over there, and I went on and pulled this cabbage and I pulled the broccoli up. He destroyed it. But he didn't get this cabbage and he did not get this broccoli here, which still have heads. So I'm gonna have to clip it back down. And then he got one of the kohlrabies, you can see, but I'm gonna leave that because once it's clipped down, he's not gonna be able to get back in there. And look, I got a kohlrabi, y'all. I just noticed it. I have a kohlrabi coming. So the ones with harvest on them, he didn't get. He got the stuff that didn't have the harvest. And this cabbage is looking pretty good. So I'm gonna go on and leave that stuff out. I'll probably either compost it. Oh, I can put that in Booger's cage. Oh, he'll love that. And no, Booger, he's not the one who got up there. That groundhog is too big to be climbing. Although I heard that they can't climb, so who knows? But I'm gonna move everything to his trap. So he's not gonna be able to resist. I'll have his butt caught either tonight or first thing in the morning. Okay, y'all. Oh, and Renee. First of all, y'all, let me tell y'all about the potatoes before I get off. Okay, so yesterday, as you can see, I have the muriate of potash. So yesterday I decided to fertilize all the potatoes because they hadn't been fertilized. And they really, the ones up front, hadn't been watered. I haven't had to water them once because we've gotten so much rain. I have not even thought about dragging that water hose to the front. But I can always water them if I need to with the container. But I haven't had to. We've had rain at least 2 to 3 days out of the week for the past couple of months here. So I haven't had to water them. Only the ones in here. Anyway, the potatoes up front have flowered. So I did my experiment. This one potato grower said, and he grows potatoes for a living. He has like a farm. He said that when they flower or get the buds, he said if you cut the buds and flowers off, it will transfer all the energy into the tubers and you'll get nice sized potatoes. If you leave the flowers and the bulbs on, they'll eventually go to seed and whatnot, and they'll blossom and all that. But your potatoes will not, they'll be regular potatoes, but they'll get even bigger, he said, if you cut those blossoms off. Because once the blossoms are to let you know, okay, it's time for the tubers to start developing. So now that I know that with those up front, I said, since those were my early ones that I planted in early April, I said, I can watch those because those will be harvested sometime in July, well before these back here, because I planted all these a month afterwards. So therefore, the ones up front will tell me if the experiment worked and if my tubers are large or if they look the same or if it was a flop or whatever. These I don't plan to touch unless I get good tubers in the ones that I planted in the ground and the ones that I planted in the container up front and the ones that I planted the roof stout method in my flower bed. There's only three there because I took those to plant in the ground, but I forgot 3 of them. So those came up and so I just went on and left them. So we'll see what happens. So everything got fertilized on yesterday with the muriate of potash. I will not fertilize with that anymore. I just wanted to hit them yesterday because the flowers had developed. So I wanted to make sure they got one good dose, and it rained and we have more rain coming, so that will help. Now, I bought 2 bags of the muriate of potash, so I have a bag and a half because I took a half of one bag to pour into my other bag that had just a little left, and I filled that up halfway, and I took that in the house, so you know, for the front potatoes in case I need some more. So it's there, and I can always bring that back to the greenhouse at the end of summer if I don't use it all. Okay, I'm gonna do the compost tea again today. It's been a week, so I'm gonna give most of these plants just a little bit of compost tea. Most of them do not need watering. I watered real good on yesterday. And Renee, bing! I'm following your lead, okay? The stuff I seen you doing with Theodore, and Theodore is doing really well. Now, I didn't get that cocoa core today. I listened